Hi, I want to introduce everybody to the new FPP Connect dialog that is coming in the next version of Xlights. The dialog has been completely rewritten to take advantage of some of the new features in FPP 2.6. That pretty much includes the discovery capability for discovering remotes and instances, the new compressed F-sequence files, as well as the sparse F-sequence files. They basically trying to make it as quick and easy to get all of your show data out to your FPP instances. I'm going to start off by showing you this is the F-sequence files that I used in my show. I pretty much haven't regenerated any of them since November. You can see they're all relatively big. So some of like 800 megabytes, 900 megabytes, a lot of really relatively big sequences. The two that I have regenerated recently, you can see are a lot smaller. That's because they're using the new format that supports compression. So you can see they are tiny compared to some of the others. Nutrocker used to be, I think it was like 400 megabytes, and now it's down to about less than 20. So the compression works really, really well. Um, so this is definitely going to help get data out to the remotes a lot quicker. So going back into Xlights, we pull up the FPP Connect dialog. You can see the first thing it's doing is discovering instances and probing them to figure out what they support. You can see that it discovered two instances on my local network. These are both sitting on my desk. These are some of my development boxes. Those aren't really interesting to me for this. I need to sync out to my show, and my show is on a separate VLAN. And the discovery protocols don't jump networks. So what you can do is add FPP and type either in a host name or an IP address. I use host names. FPP master is my master, and click OK, and it'll go off. The good thing is it remembers that. So next time I come back in here, tools, FPP Connect, that it will reprobe that, so I don't have to keep typing that every single time. It remembers that I used FPP master, and it went off and found everything. And you can see it put a bunch of defaults in that I think kind of makes sense. For masters, they're the only ones that have the media clicked, because the remotes generally don't need the media. So that's a good, kind of a smart default. The master also uses a full, by default, uses a full file with all of the channel data rather than a sparse. The main reason is a lot of people go to their put files on their master and then go to the master and click the sync out to remote. If the master only had the sparse data that it needed, then the remote would end up getting files that are useless for it. So by giving the master the full file, it allows that capability to still work. Now, if you don't plan on ever doing that, you can go into here and say, I want it to use the sparse format. And that's what I'm going to do for here, because my master doesn't really output anything, so the sparse makes a lot of sense, and if I don't use that button, that's perfect. You also see that the FPP remotes that it found, or instances that are 2.5, it pre-populated with version 1, and it actually won't even let me choose the others, because it knows that even if you send it those, it wouldn't be able to use it. So that's kind of some smart defaults. Models is the overlay models, the pixel overlay models. If you have any effects or anything that use those, you could have it automatically upload that data. The UDP out is the E131 and DDP outputs in ArtNet. You can have it upload those, that configuration if you want. Playlists, if you want whatever sequences you upload to go to a particular playlist, you can select it and it will automatically append playlist entries for those sequences and media. And finally, if the instance has some sort of hat or cape, and you're using the controller connection for all your models, you can actually have this automatically upload configuration for that instance, so including like which ports it are, what channel ranges, and brightnesses, and all that stuff. So you can pretty much sync a whole show out relatively easy from here. I'm going to turn these off because I don't we don't need to send those to my developer boxes, but these are all my show instances. We can pick a couple of stuff. I mean, let's see. God Bless the USA is relatively big. I think it's an 800 megabyte one, and I don't Can't Stop the Feeling is pretty big too. So we'll just do those two because I don't want to take too long. And if you just hit upload, you'll see transferred the media. Now it's generating the sparse sequence files. It does that in parallel, so it can use cores. And then it's uploading them to each of the instances. And you can kind of see it's going pretty quick because it's just sending the sparse files, which are relatively small. Now it's going to the next one. To Can't Stop the Feeling, it's doing a bunch of transfers. Relatively quick. And it's almost done. And it's done. Now if you go back into there, just let it discover again. Grab the configuration, and you'll see that it remembered that I transferred those, so we'll keep those checked. I remembered all the settings I had up here. You can do the clear selections and select all if you want to select send everything out. So generally it's a lot more complete to use. So that's pretty much all the dialog does. To give you a quick idea of how much space you're going to save, if I go over to my master, you can see my master doesn't actually output any data at all. I mean, it pretty much just plays the audio and sends out sync packets. So it doesn't even need anything. If you take a look at every single sequence, it's like 100 bytes, 192 bytes, 208 bytes. I mean, everything is super tiny. To a point where I have my entire show with media and everything and the operating system and everything on 2.4 gigabytes of size. You can see the music directory is significantly larger than the sequences directory. I should be able to run my entire show off the 4 gigabyte of eMCC memory on the BeagleBone. It's a significant change. If you go over to my Tune2 sign, this is a it's got 6 P5 panels, so relatively a large chunk of channels. You can kind of see from Xlights that it's Tune2 is 36,000 channels. It's a good chunk of stuff. All of the sequences total 152 megabytes in size. There's a significant reduction from the like 10 to 11 gigabytes that used to be there. Again, I should be able to run the entire show off the eMCC. My Megatree. The Megatree has more stuff kind of going on it than the Tune2. So the Tune2 usually just says like Tune2 87.9 blah blah blah. So it compresses fairly well. Megatree has more stuff going on, but again, 187 megabytes compared to 11 gigabytes. Much smaller. And you saw from before, it transferred stuff very fast. And so that's definitely going to benefit a lot of people going forward, specifically to get things out to their show a lot quicker and a lot easier. So anyway, that's the introduction I want to make. Hopefully that was informative. And this is coming soon.